Alright, so we are going to be making tapeigami sculptures, and the way that we're going to be doing it is we are going to take our masking tape roll, we're going to find the ends, and we're going to make several straws. These straws are going to be sticky side out, so what you have to do is you have to roll your tape when it's connected to the tape roll, and you are going to have it askew, and you're going to roll it so that it's pretty small, but at an angle at the same time. So you're going to keep doing it until you run out of space. I suggest that you make them small in the beginning. The reason why is you're going to get used to making them. You can make them larger later on, and that might help with time when you're creating your forms with these straws. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make several straws about the same size, and then I'm going to start making forms. So I'm just repeating the coiling method, and we're going to see how I'm going to create forms in a second. Alright, so I'm laying my straws down and now I'm flattening them. It's important to keep your straws separate because when they stick together it's really hard to get them separate. So flatten them out with the tape, and what you're going to do is you're going to start making your forms. This first form that I'm making, it's going to have a flat bottom, so it's more like a rectangular prism that I'm creating. So I made a flat bottom with the wider part of the tape, and now I coiled it on top. So I'm going to keep doing that until I run out of tape, and then I'm going to take another strip and keep going with that same motion. I'm going to keep going around until I run out of my straws, my flattened straws, and then I'm probably going to put this off to the side and do a different one. This one, we are making what I'm going to use later as a leg. And so what I did was I started first by just rotating it around, so it's a very circular motion. It almost looks like an ellipse. And I'm going to keep going, and then I'm going to add more to it later. Alright, so I can make that into a leg if I wish to. Alright, and we can also have color paper. You can also make it into a pyramid shape, but here I'm just showing you that you can connect them kind of like Mr. Potato Head. So right now I'm going to speed this up just a little bit so you can see some of the forms being created quickly, and at the end of this video you're going to see a bunch of forms that I made, and then I can make a pretty elaborate sculpture. As always, you flatten them out, flatten your straws out, and you can start creating your forms. So I'm making several of them. I made a bunch of tubes, flattened them out, and started creating lots of different forms so I could have a lot of different options in order to make my piece. So right now I'm making a big cylinder, so I'm just repeating like what I've done in the past. You can also make wings, and what you do is you just flatten out a few straws, put them together, and then you can cut the edges. Alright, so now what I'm doing is I'm adding a bunch of forms together in order to create a single statue. So I'm putting them together, I'm adding a little bit more tape if I need to, or I'm taking away some tape. I can just use some scissors, cut them, and put them on. I also put some texture onto this. Oh, here are my wings right now. This textural piece are just a bunch of tubes that I cut, and I made them the same size, and I put them together. I'm adding a nose, some eyes, and you can add just about anything you want that you have created. This is a lot of tape. You should be able to make something pretty big. So my suggestion is to start out first with forms and then work to put them together, and then try to figure out what you want to do, and then you can start making some forms and other things that you might need for your sculpture, such as wings, feet, hands, and I will show you individually as you go along in order to make those. But this is pretty much a very intuitive medium that you can work off of and figure out your own process along with using some of the processes that I showed you. Have a wonderful time making these, and I can't wait to see what kind of sculpture you make.